Hey everybody, and welcome to this morning. Your host Superman in the house. Hope you guys are doing well. We're gonna have a lot of fun today talking about our favorite topics, which is Pulsechain, Hex, and PulseX, and of course all the projects going on top of it. Maximus, Icosa, Hedron, you love it, I love it. Let's get into it. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and of course let's just set everything up. I think the audio is sounding good, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button and smash the bell and share the channel around. That's the way to go. Now, if you're watching us after the live stream, leave a comment. I'll always respond to the comments, so get into that. And, of course, don't forget to get into our Discord as well. The link's in the video description. Lots of cool community members there and good information, so get in there. Hey, it's going to be a lot of fun. Looks like we had another good day. I woke up to another good day in the markets, so that's cool. We're going to be looking at some of the intel on the street around the stock market, crypto, Hex ecosystem prices, and of course, Icosa day number 11. We're going to get into that as well as a few Maximus updates, because Maximus is getting very, very, very close to launching. So we're going to talk about all that. So cool. Hope you guys had a good day, and let's get into it. Yeah, cool. All right, so let's see who's in the house. We've got Uncle in the house here. Let's get this party started. Absolutely. And Crypto Freedom, good afternoon, Setman. Hey, good to see you, Crypto Freedom, in the houses too. Let's get into the news. We're going to get onto it. Dow racks up 2-day gain. And of course, we like that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday was pretty, was a down day. So we had Wednesday, Thursday up days on the US stock market. So that's nice to see as the tech reigns supreme ahead of Powell's meeting. So that's very cool as well. So let's have a look at some of the indicators. We've got the Dow Jones here is up 322 points. That's a pretty nice day. That's basically 1% increase. That's a good day. And, of course, we're at 33,291. Remember, the Dow Jones has the top 30 industrials in it. So that's pretty cool to see. And we've got the S&P 500 is up 58 points, 1.4%. That's a really good day. And that's at 4,200. The NASDAQ with all the tech companies in it is up 207 points, almost 1.7%. And that is at 12,639. Really cool. What a good day that is on the market there. And the dollar index is down slightly, 0.2% to 108.38 versus its trading partners. There we are. Not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. Let's have a look at the commodities. Oil's eased off a little bit there. We've got a Brent crude at 99.88, so it was over $100. That's definitely eased off. You can see that in the chart there. And if we look at the West Texas, that is it's up a little bit at the moment because it's still open, but it's pretty much down from where it was in earlier days. So that's pretty cool, up at 95, so forth. So that's not too bad. Now gold is down $1.85 to 17.69, and the silver down 3 cents to $19.08. And what else? US soybeans there is down 1.9% to 14.29. So very cool. Good results in the market. Let's jump into the commentary. The Dow racked up back-to-back gains Thursday, led by chip fuel rally in tech. So talked about the chip makers there, as investors shift attention to the monetary policy clues at the Federal Reserve Jackson Hole Symposium got underway. Now we're expecting Powell to speak. I think it's 10 a.m. On a Friday, which I think is 2 a.m. tonight for me. 2 a.m. tonight. So that's when we're expecting some news there from Powell. But in the markets, we had good results for semiconductors, NVIDIA, and so that's positive. Morgan Stanley said expected the chip makers gaming business to bottom in the October quarter, leading to a fairly sharp rebound in the division as soon as the January quarter. That's pretty nice there for the chip maker. And a positive sentiment from Wall Street analysts sparked a jump in other semiconductors as well, including advanced devices, Micron Technology, and ON Semiconductor. Other tech, including cloud stocks, were mixed as Salesforce slumped while Snowflake surged. So there's a bit of update there. We're going to jump down to the financials. Financials in the market were boosted by rising bank stocks. Always funny how bank stocks typically do pretty well, and then when they don't, they get bailed out, right, by the state, and then they profit gouge again. They always seem to win, don't they? Win. No one's got to ask some questions around that. The only time they ever let banks fail are typically the small little banks around the place. That's about it. Meanwhile, as the economy data further cooled fears about an imminent recession, So the economic data came out. It was a little bit better from GDP numbers. So we're going to talk about that. The second quarter GDP number on an annualized basis was revised to a decline of 0.6% from 0.9. So that's obviously a little bit less of a decline in GDP. And of course, previously, as consumption was also revised higher to 1.5% from 1% previously. I don't know why they write this in this order. It's not the way you should write it, but they write it backwards here. Anyway, so they should be actually saying it rising from 1% to 1.5. It would make a lot more sense. But hey, the signs of a stronger consumer come just as the Fed kicked off its annual summit with Fed Chairman Jerome Powell to deliver fresh clues on monetary policy on Friday. So this is really, they're really setting the tone in the market. Stock market, crypto market, it's going to rise and fall probably with the hawkishness of the Fed as it addresses the high inflation. And of course, that then flows into a recession as well, recession talk. And so that's kind of where we're at this stage. We're at a pivotal point. That's why it's the stock market getting the highs already in. We already see it sort of stepping down. So that's why we're going to be looking at this very closely at the moment. All right, so the macro environment is very important at this stage. My base case scenario is Powell will be a little bit more hawkish, but I worry he may not be hawkish enough to really tighten the financial condition, says Zaiwei Ren. And of course, I've said to you that if they were going to do the right thing, they would have more hawkish and interest rates rises. But of course, that's bad for us, right? We don't want that. We like the fact that they so far have been, not too bad. I mean, they had a couple of record, had 100 basis point record rise and stuff like that. But remember they were saying that inflation was going to be transitory, and of course it wasn't, and we knew it wasn't either. But they're way behind the 8 ball there. So let's see whether they suddenly step up their hawkishness at the symposium later on today. Less hawkish Fed would not only risk inflation staying higher for longer, but also dent short-term treasury yields, which have recently priced in prospect of a more hawkish Fed policy. Now, this is just one part of dealing with inflation. I've said this before. You need to also deal with the supply side, and you also need to deal with taxation. But of course, the current U.S. administration is pretty much putting fuel on the fire of both of those topics. We're pretty much that plays in our favor, by the way, in most cases for crypto assets, and that's all really what we care about. If Powell isn't hawkish enough to meet the market expectation, the front end of the treasury yield curve will really come down as traders who are in short positions are forced to cover. So that could be a little bit of return there, and bullish for a bit more risk on. So if it's less hawkish, more dovish, then that's risk on. That's good for us, and we will find out later on today. So hold on to your hat, your Top Gun hat, and let's see what happens. Let's jump over to crypto. Crypto at the moment, BTC is holding up pretty nicely actually at the moment. Remember the critical support line there, about 19,750, and of course, we're still expecting to move down, but move down maybe in October, November. It's kind of my expectation. We could get that in late September, depending on the hawkishness of the interest rate rise. Remember, that's that interest rate decision is the 21st of September. That is the key calendar date that you should be thinking about. And of course, I've been talking about a narrative in the Hex ecosystem about a window of opportunity that runs through to that bullishness that bullish opportunity or environment runs through to the merge on the 15th. Then after that, we're getting choppy waters. After that, we have to reassess the whole condition. So we're looking at little phases during the year. So they could quickly turn on us if the financials deteriorate. And we've already seen some indications of employment deteriorating with surveys coming out saying large tech companies, and these are the ones that really drive the tech value in the markets, the FANG stocks and stuff like that, are looking to lay off workers and not hire workers and things like that, moving ahead in the future. And that's typically what you get when you first get a technical recession. The employment will often start to decline later on as people change their decisions. And so just keep that under your hat, as it were. All right, cool. We've got BTC at the moment, so at 21,600, so looking good. We're in this window of opportunity, as I say. Ethereum at 1694, up 2%. And of course, we're looking for, are we going to get a second little rally for the ETH merge? I have a feeling we will. Crypto likes to do things like that. But like I say, we'll be waiting, have more confidence about that after today's meeting with see how the tone is set for that meeting with hawkishness and the stock market tomorrow. That will give us a lot more information on that. But in any case, if it was a bit better off, we might have a nice condition for a second wave of the ETH rally for the merge that's coming up on the 15th. Now, obviously, BNB at 301 at the moment, so back over $300, which is nice to see at 1.7% increase. So that's the markets today. Let's have a look at Hex, of course. Hex currently at just under 5.1 cents on the chart. We've got all these green charts here. Now, remember, this has still got this particular time frame still got 12 hours to go in this daily candle on this chart. So it's only half a day showing on the red little candle there. Bit of indecision at the moment. Just sitting there at the moment. And, of course, we've got the top of the Bollinger Bands there at top 95% is currently sitting at, what is that? Sitting at 7 cents and the bottom at 4 cents. So we've got a 3 cent range between the top of the bottom of the price range there, 95% and bottom 5% of price range. The red line is the 50% mark. That's currently sitting at 5.5 cents right in the middle there, smack bang. And, of course, we've got the current market price just under 5.1 cents at the moment. It was looking good yesterday. Previous day got up to just shy of 5.3 cents. And we got a little bit of a trend reversal there. Now, obviously, this here was the chilling sign, the EMA 13. And we're hoping that it will cross back over and be short-lived rather than signal a strong trend reversal. This is this yellow EMA 13 line. So let's have a look at some of the other indicators to get some clues about what might be happening. We've still got the buyers in control over the sellers, but we have a very weak trend down here. Remember, our buyers trend fell right off the cliff there, but it made some gain back there. But we've still got the buyers still in control from that point of view, and we've still seen the price still holding up in this above 5 cents, which has been nice. All right, cool. Let's get on to the RSI. RSI cooled off, of course, sitting pretty much in the middle of the pack there. And let's have a look at the stochastic RSI. This is still our bullish indicator. This turning back up from the oversold territory. So it's still a bullish indicator. It doesn't mean that it's not going to run out of steam and come back down. But at the moment, it's still holding up. So that's not too bad. And it's got a big run. If it's going to run, it's going to run pretty nicely. And, of course, as you know, we've got quite a few things coming up for that. So let's have a look at what's happened with the whale bot over the last 24 hours to see what sort of large holders have been moving around. So we've pretty much got a lot of stakes ending. We have 6 million, 17 hours. We had 6 million sold for 311,000. I don't know what's getting dyslexic there with the old numbers mixing around. Wallet B51 as a side wallet, says Somi. The real buy is wallet D20. Daryl 2 inches there. Daryl tried to stay in the shadows, but he used a MetaMask swap function. Useless fee, paid 45,000 Hex, $2,300 straight to MetaMask. Are you killing me? Oh my gosh, that's so bad. Daryl sent the USDC to Binance. There we are. So that's some of the transactions there. Some is pretty funny, but 18 million liquid Hex there. What else there? Daryl's 2-inch wallet. It's got $1 million in it. 18 million Hex. So there we are. Pretty big wallet there, relatively speaking. So cool. That is pretty funny. I love that sense of humor. All right, cool. Let's give that some love. So 6 million Hex. That was a while ago. What else do we had? These are these big short stakers. See this big like 72 million Hex stake for 61 days. So that's what I mean. Anything like 90 days lower, maybe even 120 days, but 90 days typically lower is what we see rolling over there. What else there? We got 10 million Hex. So we just had that one big sell, but the market is holding up pretty well in that light. Let's have a look at the log chart here. This is the Hex log chart, and we don't often this is probably is more important for long-term trends. And as you can see, that we're still miles away from. In terms of the log scale for a breakout. Obviously, with the linear chart, we're much closer to breakout than on the log chart. Yeah, so we've still got a nice uptrend going. Bit of a bull market, bull flag, if you want to look at it from that way. Hopefully, we'll just zigzag back up here and break out. That's kind of the thing. Other than that, of course, if we break down coming in September, If we broke down, we would, we would have to break down like 4.4 cents, something like that. But I think we've just got too much bullish news coming. With obviously we've got HSI, still a couple more days of that, and that product's not finishing, right? HSI sales don't finish, but the minting phase of WhatsApp does in 3 days' time. And of course, we'll see how we go with that. So that's kind of cool there. And of course, we've got Maximus coming, which is bullish. So a nice little bull trend on there from the log scale chart. It is on the daily, of course. Let's jump over to the quad charts. We've got Hex just under 5.1 cents. Hedron had a beautiful rally. Hedron had a beautiful rally. Look at that, man. Really nice. And this, before I started the live stream, this was really high. It was up at 3,337, 3,337. It's now at 2,968 and had a really nice run. And congratulations. I just remember back in June, people that were on the live stream saying, I just picked up Hedron for like 185 or something like that. It's down at the very bottom here. And I was just like, man, they have absolutely killed it on this chart, haven't they? They've absolutely killed it. So congratulations to them. Very cool. I just can't remember who it was. It's who was saying that, but it was very cool. All right, so that's nice. And of course, we're on the Hedron here. We're still not overbought territory on the RSI, so this could keep running. This can keep running. It is definitely looking pretty good there. All right, so what else we got there? We got also Maximus at the moment. Maximus is at 9.2 cents, and of course we'll have a look at the premium here on Maximus. Let's see, or Maxi, we should say. Maxi, I should say, because Maximus is kind of the team, isn't it? Maxi. We had a bit of a jump up here to 90% premium in the current day. We're currently at 80%, so we had a jump to 90%. We're back at 80% here, so that's where it is at the moment. Let's have a look at Icosa. Icosa here, $1. Let me have a look at the time. Got to make sure I've got the time right. Icosa here, $1.51. Also had that spike up to what is that? To $1.71 there on the daily chart for Icosa. So cool. I don't know if Hex had anything like that. Hex had a little bit of a jump there on the. Is that the daily? Yeah, had a little bit of a jump. We had a jump to 5.3 cents on this chart. So a little bit different from my other chart that I've got, but because these charts are on a different time frame from the first Hex chart that I showed you. So this chart here has still got 12 hours to go, but these ones here, they got I think they're the same trading pool, but I have to double check that again because sometimes I end up switching them out accidentally. And so yeah, this has still got this only got 10 minutes to go on these hourly charts here. So different perspective, right, in the hourly charts. So they're taking in 12 different other hour periods. That's why they look a bit different there. So it looks like we had a bit of a spike up on this one. That was up to 3.3, which is the previous high on the other chart. All right, don't want to confuse that too much, but that's where we are. All right, so that's the charts. Let's quickly look at the BNB. We're going to get into Icosa update shortly. We're going to wait another 5 to 10 minutes for Icosa just to wrap up that sort of day results. Let's look at BNB. BNB chart there. We've got it 0.5% for Pulse Dodge. Now, I did see that Pulse Dodge had been tweeting again finally. I didn't see too much of them. Maybe it's just I'm not following them close enough. I saw a tweet from Pulse Dodge, the original coin there, yesterday. They're at 0.5% at the moment, and they've got a bit of an uptrend, but it's just a very weak one. Uptrend, but weak one. P33, very weak at the moment, under 11 cents. You can see that looking pretty weak there. Look at that. But it is on support. Hasn't busted through that yet. I am at the moment having a bit of a nice move, but still a very messy chart. And was down at 746. Is now up at 1,000. This is the cool. This is really important area for IM Wallet, but it needs to do a lot more work. It's got to really get above this 1,500 mark and make a support line there. But look at the volatility in this. You'd be on for quite the ride on that horse ride with this one. So take care there, and let's have a look here at the airdrops. We're going to jump out there, the airdrops, and we got the Wait token. Wait token currently, oh boy, not too bad, eh? The Wait token's actually performing pretty well. Not many people have actually minted, of course, I say 4 to 6%, somewhere in that ballpark. And of course, 7/10, almost 8/10 of a penny. I mean, it's doing pretty well, and yeah, so nice one. All right, so there, let's have a look at the Pulse Dodge coin. Now, Pulse Dodge coin was doing really well yesterday, and it has fallen down. So when I turned in yesterday, it was like at $4.65 or something, and went to a high of $4.85. It is now down at $4.11. Can you believe it? $4.11. So that's sold off, and the low was $3.91. So it really low. Let's have a look at the hourly. Give us a better idea of that. Yeah, so we were up here at $4.83. I think I saw it down here, and of course away it's gone. Bam, bam. A couple big sell volumes in here, and down there. So it's still got the staking deflation coming. We don't know exactly how that's going to be structured. It might be a little bit different from other projects. If it's got some little innovations in there, that'd be pretty cool. They have used the term minting in there, so we'll find out how that goes. So so far, that is where it's at, $4.11, and it is got plenty of room on the RSI for a little run there if the news comes out. Now, where are we up to here? We're going to jump over to Maximus. Let's jump out of there first. We're going to go to Maximus. How much time we got here? Yeah, Maximus. We'll get into that. Before we do that, let's get into some of the chats and see who's in the house. I'm sure we've got a few new people in the chat there. We've got Brennan. Howdy, Suitman. Good to see Brennan in the house there. We've got, let me say this correctly, Kawa Abina. Good to see you. Hi, Suitman. Thanks for all you do. My first live show for weeks. Hey, nice to see you in the chat. That is very, very cool. Appreciate that. And Aussie Stone says, what happens if two people in the WhatsApp pool lose their keys? Then they're pretty much going to be in that will just keep accumulating WhatsApp, but never claimed. Pretty much. Haran goes to the moon, says Hamad. Hey, nice one. What else have we got there? Dave Down Under. What? We are another day closer to Pulsechain. Yeah, one more day closer to Pulsechain. That's hot off the press news, folks, on this channel. We are 1 day closer to Pulsechain. How much does Hedron cost? I think we just covered that in the charts. Aussie Stone in there. And what else there? We got a couple Aussie Stone answering that one. Hex Hodl. Hey, everybody. Good to see Hex Hodl in the house. X-Force 1 has landed. Good evening, Superman. Woohoo. 2-inch dial. Why you sell, bro? Says Brennan. Yeah, true that. Jim Rat Crypto in the house, dude. My Hedron bags. Yeah, pumping. Jim Rat Crypto. Pumping. Jim Rat Crypto says, oh, a buy wall got eating up by the team. Yes, indeed. I saw that chart, Jim Rat Crypto, on Twitter, I think it was. What else we got there? Sandra Larson's in the house with big hearts. Good to see Sandra. And Get Hex as well. Very nice. Hey. Good morning. Grandad says, I'm a bit late, but you're in time. We've got Icosa results coming up. Brennan says, were you washing your dentures, Grandad? Says Brennan. Hey, let's keep it nice and friendly in the chat there, Brennan. All right, so cool. We got Dipcatcher here 7 hours ago. I can feel that we are about to enter a new era of Hex. And what have I been singing and dancing about on this channel? That projects like Maximus and, of course, Hedron, they're bringing in a new era for Hex. And, of course, it's no longer just a Hex certificate, a token, of course, which is amazing with all its innovations in the space. But it is building out into a big ecosystem, even before Pulsechain launches with these charts. We've currently got 4 charts that I follow in the Hex ecosystem. We're going to have 9 by the time we finish September. It is going to be awesome. So, and then, of course, we've still got Power City Flex coming down the pipeline. And who else out there is going to build on top of the Hex contract? And, of course, what they're doing is they're bringing forward the expected growth for Hex into today and removing circulating supply off the market. It really is profound for the Hex token and, of course, the Hex contract. All right, so what else? 7 hours ago, pools are even more important on Pulsechain. You think Pulsechain will go to 10,000x, and if you think it's going to be the blockchain that unlocks both retail and institutional mainstream adoption, the Pulsechain blocks are going to be expensive to write. No way around it. True that. What else there? Let's jump through some of these. We're going to just trying to find out the max stuff here. 6 hours ago, going to be doing an all-day live stream today, getting all the last things ready to launch Maximus team and perpetuals and answering any questions you may have. Once audits come back in a few days, I want to be ready to press the deploy button. So that's cool. We were expecting them to wrap up by about the 28th on the audit. So we'll see how we get on with that. What else there? Now, 5 hours ago, Dipcatcher went live, and apparently Richard Hart was on Twitter Space. Obviously, that's during while I'm asleep, so I haven't seen that. But that is pretty cool. What else there? Once audit is successful, this is 5 hours ago. Once audit is successfully complete, it's go time. Come here, more details live right now. So obviously on this channel there, so that's cool. What else we got going there? Lots of questions in the chat 4 hours ago. Fun watching vintage highlight while wearing a 2Mac there. Raptors, so that's pretty cool. Now let's jump through some of these. What else we got there? going to jump through that. So that's pretty much the highlights from Maximus. So they are moving very rapidly towards going live. And of course, next week is going to look good. Next week looks good for potential launch dates and potentially launch as well. So that would be pretty nice. We'll look forward to that. Now, obviously, if it's a day before the big staking candle comes out, that might be good too. That might be good. It might get some of that stuff restaked in some of those pools, right? So let's talk about that in a second. Let's go. Now we're going to pull up the Hex Daily Stats. It's coming up soon. So we're going to talk about that at the end. So Hex Daily Stats, we're going to have day 997 coming up later on. So stay tuned for that. But we're going to get into Icosa. I think we're good to go for Icosa now. So let's get into that. I'm just going to move this one over here as well. So let's get into that. I'm going to close down Dip Catches one. So here we are. Let's have a look at day number 11, folks, for Icosa. Let's get into it. Let's rock and roll. All right, so we've got Icosa here, 40.8 billion points in Icosa staking, 40.8 billion points for a day 11. And we've got 67,847 trillion points for Hedron. That's 67,847 trillion points for Hedron staking. And of course, let's have a look at We Are All SA. SA means source account, or WATSA we call it. And of course, we've got 17.28 trillion points in this pool. That's how big the pool is, 17.28 trillion points. The average NFT size is 1.13 billion points. I think Brazology said that was about just over $1,000 or something. We've got the total supply of WATSA NFTs now is 15,187 WATSA NFTs. That's 15,187 WATSA NFTs. That is the pool. That's day 11 down, 3 days to go. And there will be no more WATSAs after this. Man, oh man, oh man. That's going to be fun to watch the WATSA just by itself. If we'd had nothing else here, just watching the WATSAs play out over time will be like watching fun paint dry on the wall. It's going to be pretty cool. So 15,000, we hit the 15,000 mark. We've got 3 days to go. I suggest we'll get a boom on the last day as people run around trying to sell down crap coins and buy some WATSA NFTs. So it's going to be fun to watch that. So very cool. 15,188 WATSA NFTs. That is pretty nice. 3 days to go. We just finished day 11. Let's get into some of the numbers now on the blockchain that correspond to these points that we've got in these pools. So let's have a look at Icosa. We're going to refresh that. So we've got 943,912 Icosa and 994 wallets. This is the total supply. Really, it's kind of like the liquid supply. We're going to scroll down and add in the Icosa stake supply. So let me just refresh my calculator there. We've got 9,461,000 Icosa staked. So let's pull that up. Now, I expect there to be a bit of a bonanza when the HSIs get sold in November because of the a massive amount of Hedron burning we're expecting then and that flow on into the staking pools. So that's going to be fun to see. Now let's add in, we've got 9,461,000 plus 943,000 total supply. I knew it was going to do that. Oh my gosh, I knew it was going to do that. 9,461 plus, I forgot to add the plus button there. 943, and that gives us 10,404,000 total supply of Icosa, excluding the yield accumulated, the accrued yield that's accumulating. So we've got 10,404,000, and this is likely to bolt out in what did I say? November. Yeah, November. So likely to absolutely be a massive windfall for those who are staking. Stay tuned for that. So the journey is only just beginning for the Icosa. So there we are, 10 million. Nice. All right, so cool. Let's have a look at, so that is for the Icosa staking. Now we're going to jump into the Hedron on the blockchain. And of course, we can see how much is actually staking. So remember that Icosa gets burned when it gets staked. That's not true for Hedron. Hedron is showing up in this wallet here with ends with ED here. 15, just under 16 trillion. So 15 trillion 956 billion Hedron staked at the moment. 48 million US dollars at the current price. Obviously, price of Hedron has gone up and to the right. So that's pretty cool. It's up and to the right that way. Pretty cool. And that's 16.84% of all Hedron staked there. But of course, if you took away, the origin accounts, things like that, would be very, very high indeed. I don't have an official number for that though. All right, cool. Let us jump over to the Wattses. Scrolling down here, we're going to get the corresponding. That's what just showing that it's on the blockchain as well. So 15,192 Wattses, but it shows you how many holders we got, which is cool. 4,938 holders. So if you're in that, if you're holding Wattses, you're in that special group of people. Very nice for you. Let's add that up, and 15,192 divided by the number of holders, 4,938. That means there's a Watsa NFT, 3.07 Watsa NFTs per wallet there. So 3.07. So basically three for every wallet is the average. But of course, we know that some holders got real greedy. They're real greedy. Look at these ones holding massive numbers of Watsa NFTs. Look at that greed. Isn't that crazy? I love it. Now, obviously, once you take your Watsa NFT out of the pool, you're out. You're out. As I say, I describe it like a swimming pool. You know, we've got 15,000 people in a swimming pool. If 1,000 people get out, then the ownership proportion gets bigger of whatever the rewards are going to be there in the pool, which are variable, right? But it's going to be pretty cool. And as another 1,000 people get out, there's only 13,000 people left. It just gets better and better and better until you get to the last person standing in the pool, perhaps. I don't know if we'll quite get to that, but somewhat, if you're going to capture the yield, then you got to burn an NFT and you're out. So that's why so many people have got so many NFTs so they only have to burn one at a time. But like a staking ladder, I want to get some yield now. The price is really high in the market. I'm going to capture some yield and I'm out. And I've still got my rest of it. I'm going to play the long game and go through the cycles and things like that. So cool. That is where we are at the moment on the Wattses. So very nice. That is the key headlines. Now, obviously, we always say when you actually buy a Watsa NFT, there's only 3 days to go. You have to use one of these tokens: ETH, Wrapped ETH, USDC, Hex, Hedron, or Maxi to buy it. And of course, that is what you get in return. You get a Watsa NFT, which gives you a share of the Icosa in the pool. And of course, don't forget the Wattses also get 100% of the bonuses for the staking pools as well, the benefits that people get for those when they stake. So let's quickly jump over to the Hedron deployer, where these funds are going into, and we'll have a look at the balances at the moment. Now, the balances have been going up and up and up. Was it a couple of days ago? It was when the prices, because obviously the prices go up and down too. But we're almost at $13 million in here net worth. Isn't that cool? And of course, we've got the 439 ETH in there with $750,000. We've got Hedron there. What's that? 1.8, just under 1.8 trillion there, with $5.3 million. We've got Hex there, 66.3 million Hex. Let me just read through that again. Let me just to make sure I got that right. Yeah, we got 66.3 million Hex in there. That's worth $3.4 million, and that's in addition to the Hex that's gone to HSI stakes, right? So it's really impressive numbers. I'm actually going to keep that number, actually 66.3. Now, obviously, we don't include that because it's not off the market, sitting in a wallet. But of course, we don't know what the Hedron deployer is going to do with this stuff. It's been very benevolent so far, but we're going to see. At the moment, of course, we got $2.4 million US in the pool. We've got $1 million in stock and DAI in there. We've got 16 Wrapped ETH there with 27K, and of course, Maximus is is number one wallet now, Maxi. And of course, that's got 26.7 million Maxi in it. And this excludes the million Maxi it burned. Very benevolent of the Hedron deployer there, and burnt 1/3 of the percent of the Maximus supply. Maximus supply has gone down from 294.3 million down to 293.3 million. Pretty impressive support there from the Hedron deployer there. And no expectations. So there we are. All right, it's cool. On the HSIs, of course, we've got 1,210 HSI sitting in there at the moment, 500. But of course, we've had massive numbers of sales. So we're going to have a look at some of the sales that we've had on the Hedron bot here. Let me just make sure I'm up to date on this one, because I've added these up, as you guys know. I'm just doing it for the first 14 days. And after that, I will not be doing it anymore. What else have we got there? Let's, I've come up to there. So that was the last one we had 3 hours ago. We had 401,000 Hex staked for 5555s. And we've had a ton over the last 24 hours, but I've added them all up for you, so you don't have to add them up. And of course, here we are, 7.1 million HSI stakes from the whale bot alone. So it excludes all the smaller stuff, which does add up to quite a bit, but it excludes all that. And of course, we're at 7.1 here. So this is a very conservative number. We hit the 100 million mark today on day 11 through the HSIs on the whale bot. in the last 11 days. Isn't that cool? And we've had very variable days. Look how variable it's been. Obviously, we had some big whale comes in here doing, 10, when I say whales, I'm using the term loosely, 10 million hex and things like that coming into some of these days. I think that was going to be more like 2 million days, but we got like 10 million, someone like that. One of these two like that. But we're at 102.3 million. Amazing. And of course, we add up the Hedron deployer as well. We're sitting at 168 million that's come through the HSI, it's come through the Icosa HSIs in the last 11 days. That's a lot. 168 million. Pretty good, right? Pretty good numbers. And of course, we're going to put that in our waterfall chart. And bam, I've already done it though. So here we are. That is the HSI Icosa cells. This is very important, this chart. Now, this chart's a mixed chart. So it's got actual numbers in, potential numbers in, and of course, just some straw man modeled numbers. So it's got a very varied numbers as we go from left to right. So these are actual numbers in here with the Pulse X and Pulsechain sacrifices. We've got the Hex Investment Trust. This is an estimate, so this is the only one that's really dubious because I don't know exactly how much they bought in there. Hedron HSIs, 350 million before PulseCon conference online. So that's an actual number. Maximus is actual number 300. So these are all pretty much actual number except for the Hex Investment Trust. And of course, by the time we get to Icosa HSI sales, we're now at 100 million on there, approximately. We're assuming that the majority of those have gone to the Icosa contract. And of course, that's pretty good. Now, coming up, of course, we've got the maximum perpetuals. These potentially are ginormous, right? So 600 million hex potentially if they hit all the bigger pays better numbers of 150 million for each contract. Now, some contracts may do better than others. The base token may get a ton of hex in it because really it's like spot hex. It's like liquid hex now, but it includes the yield from a year's in future. And so maybe the market will premium that up. And it's kind of like getting that yield early, at least maybe 50% of the yield. Maybe it prices 50% of the yield and it trades at that premium. So it's going to be funny. It's also going to be a more liquid pair, but I don't know if the market's going to price some of the other attributes to it. But definitely the premium will likely, the yield that it gets in it will probably get priced up. Yeah, obviously not investment advice, but that's going to be pretty interesting to see that play out. And of course, if we outdo all of those by 50%, we can get another 300 million there. So you can see where this is the zone that we're in at the moment. So this is based on fundamentals. It's not based on high in the pie stuff. It is empirical question, but we're playing probability from the events. Now, if these events weren't here, I wouldn't be talking at all about a window of opportunity or bullishness. I'd just be saying wait and see what the market does. But we're lucky to have these big projects eating up the circulating supply of hex, and a certain proportion of it going up to push the hex price up, which we already saw recently with the Icosa launch, where the hex price got up. Didn't get up to my 8.2 cents, which I hoped for. Got up to 7.6 cents, but that wasn't too bad. You can never get everything exactly right. So there we are. That's pretty cool. Now, obviously, we could easily have on Hex chart here, we could easily have Maximus launching next week, and this seems a reasonable estimation. And of course, maybe by Monday, Tuesday, we could get some announcement around that. Maybe we get a launch in the end of August, or we get a launch at the beginning of September sometime. It's going to be pretty cool. He wants to launch as soon as possible, so that's a positive stuff there. All right, so let me get into the rest. I think that was where did I get up to? So that is the end of the Icosa day 11. We've got 3 more days to go, folks. 3 more days to go, and currently the Icosa price is currently at $1.52 for Icosa there. Hedron at 2,921 there. Not too bad. All right, cool. Let's we're trying to get into the Hex daily updates. Now that we're waiting for day 997, can you believe it? But while we wait for that, we are currently in day 998. Woohoo! Man, yeah, we're getting to the 1,000, man. We're getting to 1,000, so day 998, and we've got another day after this, and we at 1,000. So after today, one more day, and we're up to, so it's basically 2 days, and we're going to be at day 1,000. That's going to be awesome. And of course, we're going to spread that around the Twitter universe, around social media, on YouTube, on TikTok. Spread the word around 1,000 days, because once that sticks in people's heads, they'll stop saying bad things about the project. Or at least most of them will. The ones that are left, many have capitulated to the reality But for those that are left, we could at least take another half of them out, right? And they can stop their nonsense. That's pretty much it. All right, cool. And they can stop promoting margin trading and centralized finance and all the rest of all the stuff that's getting wrecked. And they can stop doing that, right? They can stop promoting all that crappy stuff and come to decentralized land, decentralized finance. That's the way to go. That's the freedom. You're your own bank. You do have responsibilities in decentralized land, but at least you're the one in control of your destiny rather than somebody telling you can't have your funds or saying, oh, sorry, we're in liquidation, you can't have your funds. So there we are. All right, cool. That's my little speech there. What else? I think that's pretty much. Let's get into some more comments in the chat. We're waiting for the Hex Daily stats come out for day 997. We're also going to talk about the staking ladder coming up. Actually, we might do that now. Before we do that, though, we're going to get into the chat, and I'll come back to that in a minute. We've just got a few minutes to go. For that, I'm going to leave it on the chart here. Hex at the top left, Hedra on top right, and Maxi on the bottom left, and with the premium, and Icosa on the bottom right there. So let's get into some chats there. What else do we have? We got Brenda says just a friendly joke. Welcome, Grandad. And Expedition says RH was a beast today as usual. Yeah, I haven't heard the Twitter space, so I'll try and hear that later on today. Just got a few things on at the moment, so it limits my time to do that, but cool. J-Man in house there. Woo! Good to see J-Man. Expedition says watched it on Jimrat Crypto channel. Nice. Crypto Dave says early morning from the UK. Cannot sleep due to thinking about Hedron, says Crypto Dave. Hey, welcome to the family. Cheers, Islick in house there. Cheers. What else? Your Expedition says your thoughts on Hedron price in the next week. Looking bullish now. Is a retest to highs coming. I see a retesting right now. Like I said to you, there's room in the RSI, so there's still room for the price to go up. Jimmo Crypto says buy wall gone. More buy pressure plus price discovery, says Jimmo Crypto. Yeah, I can see it going up further at the moment. Tight liquidity, says Jimmo Crypto. Expedition, thanks. Val's in house there. Hello again, Superman. Good to see you, Val. And who else there? Expedition says I have a big stake ending September the 14th since day 8. Hopefully Hex goes up and Pulse launches before. Has it been going since day 8, Expedition? Hex day 8? Wow, that's amazing. Well done to you on that. Hopefully Hex goes up and Pulse launches before. Oh, you just have to hold on to it, don't you, Expedition? That's all you have to do. Brennan says 2 more days. 2 more days, yeah. Al Miller says Superman is the most reliable man on YouTube. I appreciate that, Al. Big shout out to you. Very, very nice. Very nice. I wasn't going to say that anymore, right? But there we are. I just did. Sue me. I say, sue me. All right. BTC at 21,500, ETH at 1685, and BNB at 300. Let us jump over and see how we're doing for time. We've still got a couple more minutes, unfortunately. Let's go look at the big Hex stake, eh? This is coming out. Now, this is a composition of stakes, so don't get too alarmed. It is the last billion stake that we've got at the moment for this year, and it may be the very last one we see this year, unless they all decide to jump together again. Let me just scroll down through here. We're going to look at 2 takes here. We're going to look at to the end of the year. So the staking, these are global stakings ladders. So it's everybody's stakes, not just an individuals. And of course, we're just tracking through here. What day is it? The 26th here. So we're just tracking through. We've got a few more days to the end of August. August has 31 days in it. So we've got a few more large stakes. I mean, these are all large. Don't get me wrong. This is what we call our, pretty much the front wave of our stakes here. People have got different words for it, but basically the first couple of months, we've got all these large holders that just keep rolling their stakes and scraping interest off, a lot of them. Sometimes they would just to compound their interest, but the share rate is still going up against them on average over the right there. So they're basically getting diluted over time, but they do keep scraping large incomes off there. So that's what they do. But this is breaking down. And I keep saying that again, they're slowly breaking down. As we move forward in time, they're breaking down at least until we meet another big candle. Then we've got more volume coming up. And you can see till the end of the year, we're relatively low candles, relatively, I say. Some of these, like this candle here, has got 223 million Hex in it. But we've lost a lot of the bigger candles where we had constantly 300, 500, a billion. We used to have billions, heaps of billions of candles. I can't remember what 2020 was. I think we might have had I just remember, it's a faint memory, but like 10 or 11 billion candles or something. There was a lot of them. I can't remember the exact number, but it was definitely a lot. Maybe it was 7 or 8. I don't want to over exaggerate, but it was certainly a lot. So obviously we've had those big sacrifices with Pulsechain and Pulsechain eating up a lot as well, a lot of supply. So that definitely has helped. Now, obviously, if we go into the future, and we've got the Hearts wallet, that would be a super duper thing. I don't know how much is going to go in there for the Heart wallet. Don't know how Rich is going to do that or this, that. We are expecting a sacrifice for that. Obviously, he's got devs working on the Hearts wallet already, and the new MetaMask wallet. So we'll see. I've just got $500 million in there at the moment, but we will see how that goes. I suspect that we'll get a lot of FOMO in there, just the way it goes. I don't know. He could probably launch it at any time. It doesn't even have to be bullish time, and it would probably do pretty well. But anyway, let's jump here. Most people think that he would launch when the prices are high, right? Because you get the most value when you do that. Anyway, so but that depends what you think is what the goal is, right? Is it to accumulate Hex, or is it to accumulate USD? Ask yourself that one. All right, so or to accumulate Hex and then get the hit prices going up and then accumulate USD that way. So anyway, comments aside, I was actually trying to talk about the stakes. So we've got this big candle coming up on the 1st September, 1,264 million. Now this is this includes the big stakes that came out on the 2nd and 3rd of August, I think, because this was only 700 or 800 million in here. It got topped up with those stakes that came out from the looks of it, and everyone's just jumped on top of this candle. Now we've got a big billion candle there. Will this be the last one we see for the rest of the year? Well, I probably, unless they all decide to jump onto the same staking period again, we'll find out. That's kind of the way it goes. So there we are. We've got very little in that regards. But of course, if you add all these up together, we've still got a decent amount of Hex rolling forward at the front of the staking wave. So we'll keep watching out for that. Now, obviously, we're going to get some selling from this, like the interest and things. We'll expect to get that as these stakes come out. We've always got to absorb that selling, that's interest selling. But I would suggest that just like a lot of these candles, a lot of them will just restake in the future, and slowly over time they're breaking up. They're breaking up into different days and different amounts and things like that. So we'll see. We'll see how we go, but you never know. Will we get a bit of selling in here? A heavy selling in the 2nd and 1st, possibly, and probably is the case. We'll probably get some of their interest stuff selling. Maybe some of them will sell some capital as well, depending if they've also had these stakes for a long time, right back in the early OG days. We might get some of that. We'll find out, but definitely we'll get some selling pressure from there, I would say. But once again, the bulk of it probably should get restaked forward there, especially if they are going to be holding it for Pulsechain and things like that, right? There are reasons to hold, and of course also the Hearts wallet and things like that. They may continue to do that as well, if they're not just looking at the investment benefit. All right, let's move on from there. We are going to, actually, I was going to do a longer time frame. So let me do a longer time frame. That is up until the end of the year. I was just going to have a quick look at the end of the next year. So we'll scroll through from that. So what's the date today? Date is the 26th of August. So we're going to go to August. We'll go to that's close enough, 27th. And this is the next year. So this is what the next year looks like. So where's our big billion candle here coming out in a couple of days' time? What's that, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st? So what's that, a week? Is it a week still to go? And then, of course, these are the candles we've got coming up in the next year. So what's this candle here? This is the big one. July the 24th of July, 2023. That's got 405 million in it. So you can see there's no billion candles here. But, of course, if any of these decide to jump together, we could see a billion candle there. So let's see what happens to this one here when it comes out. Pretty interesting. And then we're getting down. If this doesn't stay up really high, we're going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. I'm not sure which ones are OA wallets as well. I know that the OA staked for the first 10 years, but I haven't. It's been a while since I looked at the actual in-game. Last big stakes that came out were last year, remember, November, December. Were coming out from the OA there at the end, pivot period. So, yeah, it's worth having a look. I was actually going to look at that yesterday, but the site wasn't working when I was having a look for it. Anyway, that is pretty much some of the stakes. So not too bad, right? Not too bad. But we still got this front of the wave, but it is breaking up over time. But like I said, this is a multi-year process. And of course, whenever we have things like Hedgeon and Icosa, Hearts Wallet, sacrifices, things like that, that eats up a lot of circulating supply. as well as a lot of these stakes that come due. When these people know that things coming up, they end up throwing the stuff into some of those things, and we get less and less and less in the market, which is pretty cool. All right, very nice. So take a snapshot of that, and you can look at that in maybe a couple of months' time and see what it looks like let's say by the time we get into February. What will this forward view look like after we get through all these candles here? What will they have all done? All these candles here, what will all these have done? Because there's quite a bit in here. We add up all these big 5 candles. You're looking at just over $1 billion with these big 5 candles here. So it's not like there's still a decent amount of volume around. So cool. So there's a couple billion there for sure. Let's get into Hex Day stats. No, day 997, not out yet, but it's coming close. We're currently on day 998, so we'll come back to that. And I'm going to put it back on the Hex chart there and give it a few more minutes. What else there? I think that's it. Robbio's in the house. Hey, Hex Token channel member. Hedron small LP buy, wall on USD pairing. Small LP buy, wall on USD pairing. Nice. Hedron reminds me of Hex in the beginning, but more bullish with no drama from YouTube's expedition. That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny. All right. Very cool. Now, obviously, it's all quiet on the Pulsechain street. Let's have a quick look at the Pulsechain on the test network. So the Pulsechain, let's not forget that it's coming down the pipeline. It's still running pretty nicely on the test network. But let's have a look at the GitLab and see what if there's been any little updates here. These are little minor updates. Yeah, 2 weeks ago was 6 days ago on the Block Scout. They had something on the test net 2 weeks ago. These are all pretty minor stuff typically. So nothing too much happening there. Now let's have a check chain list. Chain link. Yeah, let's check that. Let's check the test nets. Turn that on. Let's pipe in Pulsechain. Let's see if anything is snuck up here on us. No. So V2B is starting. That's the public one there. Chain ID 941. This is the one that seems to be running privately by the team, V3, and it's chain 942. That's the one that's currently running privately. So these are the first 3 that we've got that are public, and this is the one that's currently running that I just showed you. And so, yeah, nothing else has popped up there. Cool. If you haven't got into our Discord, hit the link in the video description and jump aboard. So cool. Unprotected Hex there. Morning, Superman. Looking forward to the show. Hedron FOMO kicking in. I like that. We're putting some of those on there. The FOMO is real. It is real. And I sold a What's NFT for half ETH. Says I sold What's NFT for half ETH. Says MV. Nice one. That's the first person that said that they've done that. Hi guys. What's the swap app or website called that Superman was talking about? Called CowSwap. It's up in the links actually. Check your useful links. Let me just put that in there. Useful links. Bam. Right, cool. That is going on. Let's wait. Have we got it? No, it's not out yet. We're still waiting patiently. This is pretty much it. I don't think we've got much from Richard out today, although he was on the Twitter Spaces. I have to go and listen to that later on. I'm not sure what was said in there. Whether it's just new stuff I'm looking for. Obviously, waiting for the new stuff. Any insights there from Richard? Let us know in the chat if you heard Twitter Spaces and there were any insights that were new. That would save me an hour or so watching if there isn't anything. All right, cool. What else we got going? Let's have a look at the Pulse Bitcoin and see whether they've got any updates around their staking coming out. No, nothing in there. So that's still waiting for that. And of course, let's have a check of Alex, see if Alex has been making any comments. That he hasn't made too many comments the last couple of days. No, nothing out from Alex. Now, what I am keen on is Power City coming up. I would really like to see whether they're going to launch their Power City Flex soon. Anything that eats up the circulating supply of Hex, I like it. I like it a lot. And so, as you guys know that. So cool. Now they've got their obviously PulseCon. Was it their Pulse? Let's call it Las Vegas. I think it's the Las Vegas meetups. They are coming up. So let's pull that up and have a little look at that again. So Power City obviously doing a lot of stuff around that, which is pretty nice. So they've got the meetups here happening the 5th of the September. Pulse Masters Golf Tournament, 2 shotgun starts. So that's going to be cool. I played lots of ads about that on this channel. We've got DeFi 60 Laters coming up as well in KSB TV. Rec Peb Cabana pool party. That looks really cool. And of course, we've got the Power City Pulsechain community party coming up too on the 7th of September, and our happy hour leaving Las Vegas meetup at the Gatsby Cocktail Lounge on the 8th of September. So it's going to be a great opportunity for Hexkins and Pulsechins to meet up and make some new friends and things like that in the real world, not just the digital world, but the real world there. What is that real world? What is that called again? I don't know. I've forgotten what that is. I'm just kidding. All right, cool. Let's jump back to the markets. There we are. Hex at just over 5 cents and Hedron there at 2,920. We've got Maximus at just under 80% premium over Hex and a $1.51 on Icosa. That's where we are at the stage. Just things cooling off a little bit there, waiting for the pump. That has got to be the comment of the day, though. Hedron reminds me of Hex in the beginning, but more bullish with no drama from YouTube. That's hilarious. All right, cool. Let's play a little ad while we're waiting for the Hex Daily Stats. It's the problem with Hex Daily Stats. You can never know when it's actually coming out there. So cool.
Join Hex Ladies at the Pulse Masters Golf Tournament on September 5th, 2022. This event is the official kickoff to PulseCon Las Vegas. Individuals and teams of 4 of every skill level are invited to party with us on the golf course at the renowned Revere Golf Club. There will be 2 shotgun start times. This is an event you do not want to miss. Come mix and mingle with golfers and influencers from all over the crypto space. Visit ksb.tv/golf for more info and to donate. You can also donate to Hex Ladies on Cash App.
Two, one, swing. That's looking good. Oh, yeah. That's in the hole. Whoa. That's in. That's it.
All right, so let's chill it back here. Now, I've just pulled up the sacrifices, actually. Who was saying that? Expedition says, it's been a long time since I sacrificed with Power City. Totally forgot about it, says Expedition. Yeah, I'm not surprised. They're doing a lot of building at the moment. I mean, it's pretty much what they've been doing. They have lifted their social media a little bit there. I had them on about that a few weeks ago, if you remember. They seem to have picked up their social media, which is good to see. I think you got to do that in the lead up before Pulsechain. Got to build up your community, because when Pulsechain comes, everyone's going to reactivate and get back into the mix, right? So it's pretty good for that. I see that this is the running sacrifice at the moment. We've got Pulse Starter. This seems a new one here. I'm not actually sure what this one has just come up, but Pulse Starter is coming up here at the moment. I don't talk much about sacrifices these days, because obviously we're waiting for Pulsechain, but because I only really talk about the projects that I think are going to be really high probability of big success. Whereas some of these maybe, but they're all wild cards, right? So this one here, Pulse Starter, it's got its tokenomics and everything here. I'm not sure what it's about, but it's starting in 10 days. PLST token, generated a platform discount generated token airdrop staking reward platform. What else there? Pulse Starter NFTs, generated airdrops. Generated token airdrop, stake your rewards platform. So kind of is that. Looks possibly might be innovative. Let's see what they've got. Taxes. Yeah, not typically into taxes. 5% is not too like the end of the world. But yeah, it's I guess there's a mixed result here with depending on the project. But yeah, okay. 5% not the end of the world. If it was 10% or higher, that's really what annoys me with these, but that might be okay. All right, cool. That is that one. Let's jump out. That was the latest new one there. You can check them out, of course, on our new token links here on the Hex Token Discord. Under new tokens, you can see all the sacrifices. You can see Pulse Hot List, which has in a kind of an evaluation site there. We've got the Pulsechain news sites with all the links to probably most of the projects that are around, and then Pulse Police as well that check a lot of the airdrops and things like that. So if you want some security checks by devs, these guys do that on Pulse Police there on behalf of the community, which is pretty nice. Remember, do your investment due diligence. Don't just participate in random projects just because somebody drops you a link and you don't want to miss out. Don't FOMO into you're likely to get rug pulled because the person that told you about it may just be a scammer, shiller, and you get wrecked. So don't do that. Don't do that. Do your investment due diligence. Ask around. Do all the right common sense checks as well. So cool. All right, very nice. I did it again. I was supposed to not do that. All right, so that's where we're at. We're still waiting for Hex Daily Stats. Man, it's taken ages. It's up now into the day. Man, oh man. Sometimes, occasionally, this thing can, like once or twice, I've seen this thing not come in for like an hour and a half later. So hopefully it's not going to be that. Hopefully it's coming out anytime now. But there we are. We may end up having to talk about it in the second live stream later on today. We've still got a little bit more time, though. We just come out over the hour, so that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. All right. It's pretty quiet chat, so we're probably going to wrap up soon anyway. And I'm just going to make sure I get rid of these. Let's play one more video while we wait. We're going to play a couple of Pulsechain videos while we wait for the Hex Daily Stats to come out. So let's get into these. This is when will Hex launch versus ETH 2.0. So check this one out. And I'm going to play another one around Pulsechain launch as well.
Yeah. Have you seen, before I lead it to, I'll ask you two. Number one, do you think Ethereum 2.0 goes, actually happens? And when it happens, does it go ahead and dock and go off without a hitch? Or will you see problems?
Software takes a long time, and software sometimes has bugs.
But we're okay with waiting, right? I'm okay with waiting.
I'm okay with waiting. I mean, look, I'd like Pulsechain to launch before it, but truthfully, it really doesn't matter whether Pulsechain launches before it or not because it doesn't affect the gas fees. Ethereum 2.0 does absolutely nothing to affect the gas price.
Correct.
It does nothing to increase throughput. It is the exact same gas price, homies. And so Pulsechain is there to help get those gas fees down, give everyone the largest free airdrop. And so whether we should beat them to market, but in case we don't, it's fine.
About Pulsechain. What is Pulsechain? When is the launch?
Sure.
A lot of people are asking that.
Yeah, well, Pulsechain is the world's largest free airdrop. We're going to reduce Ethereum's fees by basically doubling their capacity or more. We fork the Ethereum system state so that all of your coins get copied on the new chain for free. You can go play with those coins now if you want. Go to pulsechain.com, go use the testnet. You can go trade those coins for fun right now on the testnet. And we're just waiting for the devs to, improve a few things, higher throughput, more security, and then we can go to mainnet. It's just software's hard. Right? If you want truly secure software with perfect flawless operation, it takes a while to get it right, and Hex took a long time to get right. And that's the reason Pulsechain, we've been at it for over a year now. Probably longer. We've probably been at it for about a year and a half. And we're close, man. We're so close. If my devs were dumber, we would have already launched. But because my devs are so good, it takes longer because they catch all the things. They're like, hey, this, that. You're like, yeah. So it's to be miraculous because it can reduce the gas fees, which are too high. It can give us higher throughput. It can save the environment.
Yeah.
And it's got better tokenomics. It burns the coins. So 25% of the fees are just burnt. And top of VIP 1559 as well, which also does burning. So I'd have to estimate how much extra burning that'll do. And so we've got PulseX, which is our fork of Uniswap, which does fee burning, no inflation, only deflation. We've got Pulsechain, which has deflation only and fee burning in protocol. It's really awesome. Like, we're going to soon have vertical integration. We're going to have Pulsechain consensus network, PulseX trading, Hex value storage. We've got a wallet being built now as a MetaMask replacement. That's nearly complete vertical integration. The only thing that's missing is fiat on ramps and off ramps. That's it. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
All right, we're back. We've got the hot off the press. So those are two videos around the Pulsechain. We're going to get on to day 997. Hex daily stats is out. 25th of August here, 2022. We got the price down just a tad there, 0.3% down at 5 cents, just under 5.1 cents there. We've got the Hex payout per T-share 6.25, which means that we've got some penalties in there, which is nice. If you've got T-shares, you get paid. Love that. And of course, what else we got there? The T-share rate at $1,182. You can get that for a third of the price if you stake out for 10 years. And of course, the Hex T-share rate is up and to the right. It's gone up 12.2 Hex per T-share today. So it's now at 23,255. And of course, the average stake length, 6.55 years. It's been pretty steady the last couple of days. The annual percentage yield rate, and that includes inflation and emergency in-state penalties, is a fantastic 38.46%. Really nice day, actually. Second best day, is it? No, third best day. Third best day there in the last 10 days. The liquidity pool is up from yesterday. We're at 208 million X. We've got $14.5 million US in the pool. And of course, we've got liquidity 1,300 Ethereum in the pool as well. T-shares up 5,500. Nice to see a lot of restaking there. As I say, people restaking those large volumes of Hex. Remember, it's very hard to get these sort of T-shares off the market, right? So even if you could buy all this Hex here, you're going to remember you've got to divide it and divide it by the share rate here, and you're not going to get that many T-shares, right? So that's just the way it goes. So that is a lot of the large holders there restaking, as we talked about earlier. Let's have a look at the staked amount. Staked amount of Hex, 62.1 billion Hex stake. That's actually gone up, so that's pretty nice in absolute terms. So you can see the numbers the last 10 days. Don't actually talk about this that much, but we're at 61.9 billion. We're now at 62.1 billion. So that's 200 million Hex. That's net stake there in the last 10 days. So that's pretty cool. Let's have a look at the stake percentage of coins is at 9.66%. And of course, the penalties there, a really good day in the office for us who are staking with our T-shares. And of course, that's 2.8 million Hex. Really, really cool. Congratulations there. That's one of the two best days in the last 10 days. Of course, day 990, we got over 10 million Hex paid out to stakers. Isn't that cool? And that's pretty nice. So nice. We're still getting really good results here on the staking numbers, up 206 new staking stakers there, and we're up to 106,224 Hex stakers. Woohoo! Rock on. I guess we're heading up towards 150K. That's our next target. And of course, wallets are up 109 to 309,137 current holders of Hex. And we've got the total stakers up 225 to 133,000. And of course, look at this. Is this a lucky number? I think so. The change in total stakers up 396 to 188,888. Now, I know in Chinese culture, that's pretty cool number there. It's the 888. I'm not sure about the 4 at the beginning, but that's pretty positive as we head towards 500,000 total holders. That's pretty neat. So looking good. Day 997, and we're in day 998. And of course, including today and tomorrow, we're pretty much 2 days to go, or 1 day to go if you exclude today. And we're going to be at 1,000 days. That is so cool. And we're going to spread that around the world because that is such a cool thing. Yeah, very nice. I said I wasn't going to do it. Damn it. That's third time unlucky. That's our Hex Daily Stats, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's got a few more people in the house. I'm going to talk about that. I did get rid of a lot of those spams. Thanks very much. Expeditions Atomic should do an interview with our HS Expedition. You want to just leave it on his Twitter there, Expedition, or talk to his first IC. That's a good idea. Brendan Islick says, not long now to ETH 2.0 come on King Richard. We can beat them. Yeah, the 15th of September is when we're kind of expecting that at the stage, subject to the blockchain there. What else there? Chris Sykes in house. Yo, Superman, good to see Chris. And Bob Wells in house there too. Good to see Bob. D Hex. Woo, let's go Hexkins, Pulsexkins. A few of you guys are coming late. You guys been somewhere else? Have you guys been faithful? I'm just kidding. Bob Wells says, I heard some bug issues with ETH 2.0 expected. Well, I think the testings went through pretty well, but they did have some issues around some transactions and certain things. There's no doubt that they're trying to field those. What else there? Monica and woohoo! Hi, all good to see Monica. Bob is excited as I am about these things, which is cool. Very nice. Here's Hex Edition, nice one. Hey, that's 4 times. Is it 4 times? No, it's not really, because I just read your comment there. Cool VIP, as Bob Well says. Cool VIP. All right, we're up to now 10 minutes, folks. I'm going to play out 2 videos on the way out. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. And definitely don't forget to catch in a second live stream later on today. In about 5 hours' time, we'll catch up on everything then. The news, the prices, and maybe a few other things. Catch up then. Bob Well says, haha, working my dog suit, man, so maybe cheating on you. Yeah, sounds like it, Bob. Sounds like it. All right. All right, bye for now. And let's push that out. We're going to play out some videos. Hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. We covered a lot. Icosa day at 11. Hex daily stats, of course, day 9, 9, 7. And, of course, the markets. It was pretty fun. All right. It was nice to see a green day in the stock market too. Let's find out what panel says tonight at the symposium. That's going to be interesting to see. All right. What are we going to play? We're going to play this one. Let's go for it. Enjoy.
Go to Pulsechain, the world's largest free airdrop. Which by all. Let's do it. If you guys have any coins on Ethereum, ERC20s, Hex stakes, Ethereum itself, you're going to get a free copy of all that on a chain I created called Pulsechain. You can go play around the testnet right now. Go play with your coins. Pulsechain.com. Awesome. It's going to help get the Ethereum fees down. It's got higher throughput. It's deflationary. It burns 25% or more of the fees. There's no inflation. It never mints new coins. And it's going to be the world's largest free airdrop. So people love free money, and they don't like high fees. And this addresses all those issues. It's really cool.
So I put 10,000 into it early, super early. I bought the rumor, right?
Right.
What kind of return?
I never speak about. I'm very careful as a founder. Elon Musk isn't, so he gets sued by the SEC all the time. Right. I don't have a security. There is no critical managerial entrepreneurial effort. There is no pool into which people put money with the expectation of profits away from the work of others. This is very specific legal language I'm using to show you that Hex removes the risk of securities. There is no middleman that can screw you. You always mint your own rewards. You always perform your own labor. You are the network. You are the effort. And so I'm very careful to make price predictions. And I almost never make them. I do them for Bitcoin. I do them for Ethereum. But in Hex, I almost never make them. And it's also harder to predict Hex, to tell you the truth, because it's such, the price moves around so much. Right. It's harder to predict. So Bitcoin did 690 million%, which is a 669, what the hell? 690,000x it did. Ethereum did about 20,000x. Went from 31 cents at the crowd sale on average. You could have bought it earlier and got it lower, or you could have bought the dip on Kraken when it went to like 15 cents. Now it's $1,600, was 5,000. So it did probably 20,000x. Hex did a 10,000x. I can list you a lot of other coins that did a lot of X's. In cryptocurrency, doing a lot of X's is very possible. And so could Pulse do the same 10,000x that Hex did in the same time frame, or possibly even quicker? Yes, it could. The likelihood of that event, I don't know. And that's an important number. I'm a smart dude, but I can't predict the future.
Just like you just said earlier.
Right. Yeah. So could it do a 10,000x in 620 days, 623 days? Sure, it could. That's what Hex did. So I when I invented Hex, I wanted it to outperform Ethereum, and Ethereum had done a 14,000x in 2.5 years, is what it did. It went from 31 cents to $1,400, maybe $1,500, depending on what exchange you're using. And it did that over 2.5 years. And I said, well, we've got better game theory. I coined the term pumpamentals. I don't use that term as often because people are, don't think it's as funny as they once did. And so we beat that target. And now, I look at the Pulsechain chat room, there's 60,000 people in it. I look at the Hex chat room, there's only 40,000 people in it. And Hex has been around for years.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think Pulsechain has a lot of really strong advantages in that it's easier to understand. Yeah, it's Ethereum, but it's faster, higher throughput, cheaper, and the world's largest free airdrop. And it saves the environment.
No brainer.
No brainer. Right. Like it's a
this
no-brainer.
Coin does something. This thing does something.
Yeah.
The best. Do you have a top 5 if you could?
Nope.
No, top 5.
I'm a Richard Hart Maximus, bro. So next year it's going to be Pulsechain, Pulse X, Hex on the Ethereum network, Hex on the Pulsechain network. But why would you want worse games?